So you've decided to sell your house and now you're thinking, what next? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to break it down into 11 steps. This is part 1. We're going to do 1 through 5 so you know what to expect. Stick around. Hi, I'm Annie Baker. I'm a realtor here in Silicon Valley. I'm going to break down what you can expect when you're going to sell your house. And I'm not talking about what you should do to prep it in terms of upgrades and things like that, or maintenance to get it ready for sale. I'm just going to talk about the actual process of selling a house and things you need to do kind of from a paperwork standpoint. So step 1. The first thing I tell my sellers is we've got to get some inspections done. That is going to protect you. So at a bare minimum, the home inspection and a pest inspection. In this case, at this client's house, we obviously did a pool inspection too. So let's stick with the basics. The home and pest inspection. The home inspection is going to check for things like all the mechanicals of the house. Is everything in working condition? Do all the doors work? The windows work? Are there any plumbing issues, electrical issues? How old's the water heater? It's going to kind of go over all the basics of your house. It's going to check, see if there's any possibly foundation cracks, and just kind of be able to really do an overview of your house, just to be able to give a buyer an idea of what's going on with that house. And the pest inspection will do some of the same things, checking for leaks, water damage, but obviously we'll check for termites and any kind of bug infestation. And it's really important to do these to provide upfront for buyers so the buyers know what they're making an offer on. They'll be more willing to be aggressive in an offer price if they know what they're getting themselves into. Some of my sellers will think, well, Annie, I don't want, if we're going to have to tent the house, I don't want to have to do that, tenting for termites. And I say, I'm not saying you're going to, but at least if the buyers have that information up front, they'll be more willing to say, hey, that's okay. We already have an idea of what the cost is, and we're going to go in and be a little bit more aggressive on our offer price, instead of thinking, we're not really sure if there's going to be problems in the home inspection or pest inspection, or in this case, a pool inspection, if there's a pool. So it just is like information a buyer needs to have up front. Sometimes I have the sellers, make some of their repairs depending on what they are. And sometimes it's just information. Some other kind of inspections that you have to provide as a seller up front is the NHD reports and natural hazards disclosure. It's about $100. Oh, and I should back up. The home and pest inspection together, typically around $700 to $800, at least with my inspectors. And the natural hazards disclosure, like I said, it's $100. That report is done by a professional company that provides information like, is the house in a flood zone? Is it in a high fire danger zone? We're having some issues like that in the hill area, Los Gatos Hills, Saratoga, Los Altos. And there are some areas that you just need to know. Only certain insurance companies will insure in those parts. So we just want to have that as information for the buyer. Talks about if you're in an earthquake zone, aren't we all? So there's that. Then there's also the preliminary title report. I get that from the title company. It shows exactly who's on the title, if there's any easements on the property, what liens there are against the property, if there's any tax delinquency, all that information. So those are kind of reports we provide to the buyers up front. Number 2, disclosures that you really need to pay attention to. There's 2 predominantly. There's one called the seller property disclosure. It's 4 pages. And then the real estate transfer disclosure, it's 3 pages. And those are documents you have to go line by line, answering questions, checking boxes. And it's going to give any potential buyer the most information about your house. So if you were going to be buying a house, what would you want to know? Some of the basic things from the previous owner. That's what you're providing. If you've had any leaks in the past or floods, any kind of issues. So those are really key. Then there's probably about another 80 pages of disclosures that you basically just sign. There's really not much information that you're providing, but they are required. And honestly, what they're saying is sellers, disclose, disclose, disclose. Buyers, do your due diligence and make sure you find out all the information you need before buying this house. But it's a lot of redundancy and a lot of pages. Step number 3, we're gonna stage the house. Even if you have great furniture and your house is really nicely decorated, sometimes it just helps to remove some personal items, have a stager come in, put a few little knickknacks, maybe a couple more neutral things on the wall, just get it staged. Number 4, I always have a professional photographer and oftentimes professional videographer, so we can give buyers a fantastic view online. That's where everyone starts their house shopping. Let's make sure those pictures shine, and that video gives them a great impression of what your house is all about. Step number 5, I'm gonna list it. I'm gonna put all that information, all those pictures online, and we're gonna start the showing. So we'll have conversations, or you have a different realtor, you'll have conversations when showing times are available, if you're doing open houses, all of that. So that's really when showtime starts, the showings and getting it listed on the market. So that's the first 5 steps in getting your house on the market. I hope that helped, gives you a little idea of what's coming down the pipe, and stick around for my next video with 6 through 11. So again, I'm Annie Baker. If you have any real estate questions, reach out to me, email, text, or even comment below. And until next time, have a great one.